So good afternoon or good day to everyone, and welcome to the International Service Learning Forum. We're so excited that you're here with us today, and I have the absolute pleasure of welcoming you to Care for the Service Learning Practitioner. Your facilitator for today's session is Ineko Tsuchida from the Shin-Yuen Foundation. And so Ineko, please, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you very much, Amy. It's my absolute pleasure to be with you today and be invited to lead this discussion and session. And I was just talking to Amy before we started how long Shin-Yuen Foundation has been supporting the National Service Learning Conference. And we go back way to 2004. And so this is our 2 decades of relationship and the partnership resulting in my participation to International Service Learning Forum. And I welcome you all. And I asked Amy to host and advance the slide for me so that I can focus on my presentation or talk. And today, the next slide, please. I have a couple goals in mind. I would like us all to think about the alignment of our mind, heart, and action in service learning, which I hope would lead you to more enjoyment as well as self-care. And then second of all, to learn about resources and tools for self-care. And I will introduce one that we have in Shin-Yuen Foundation. And to begin, Amy, next slide, please. We will do a little bit of interactive fun thing. And if you see view options, mine shows in the top of my screen. And then if I click it to drop down menu and I find annotate, and you click that, and then find various icons, but find stamp and choose heart and place the heart where, well, which country you are attending this forum from. So I'm in San Francisco Bay Area, so right here, and Maura is also from Palo Alto Bay Area, so I saw her heart right there. So please take a few minutes to find your country in this map and place a heart from the country you are attending this forum. I only see 3. Tijuana said, no, you can write in the chat, which country are you from? Let me see. Puerto Rico, okay. South Africa. Great. Thank you for managing your schedule to attend. I don't know how many hours apart we are. Allison, I see her heart. Florida. San Mateo. Belton, oh, yes, looks like a Florida. Oh, great, finally got in there. Tijuana says 8 hours ahead, and I'm 2 hours behind. Great. Thank you. Oh, right around there. Somebody's, oh, great. Right there. So which country is that last heart? Great. Thank you all for making time. I'm going to move on, and I wanted to share something that we call paradigm of service. Amy, Next slide, please. Oh, can you erase clear all drawings? Okay, great. So when we talk about alignment, we start from within yourself and looking at this slide. First, mind, what you think, what you conceive or consider, and then heart, what you desire or feelings, and then action. Quite often we're talking about this service learning right now. And we often talk about the service and service learning are a process of aligning with mind, heart, and action. And I will tell you a little bit about what this means. It's quite often we think, well, I think I should be doing this. I ought to do this because it's a good thing to do for others. But in fact, it's been challenging for me to do what I think I should do because I'm busy or because I don't have that particular resources I think I need to put my action into service. When these are not well aligned, we are stretching ourselves in a different direction than we would like to be. And keep in mind that we are not alone in this busy community. So what happened is the next slide. In addition to paying attention to this alignment of ourselves, Amy, next slide, yes. So that's a vertical one is within myself, trying to think about mind, heart, and action alignment. And there's an animation, I think something is, when two people are together, you also need to think of creating harmony with others. So quite often what your daughter or son said, something kind of pushes your button, and then all of a sudden you feel you are out of alignment. And quite often client or people you are serving versus yourself have to be this flexible adjustment, thinking about what you are intended to do, and then paying attention to the needs of others. How can you balance these? And they get more and more complex when you go to the next slide. When you are part of community, or part of organization or school, each one of us is represented with different color of hands. You have your own values and virtues while you are trying to maintain and hold universal values together. And universal values could be being helpful, being compassionate, being respectful, caring, all those things. And you're trying to accomplish that when you are part of dynamic communities. So creating harmony, starting from your own self, gets more and more complex and challenging. Then the important question is, how would you sustain yourself as a catalyst to bring greater harmony through service learning? So while you are paying attention to your own alignment within yourself and with one another person, and perhaps with larger organization or community, what I like you to think about is the alignment as if you are a tree. So before we get to that, I wanted to emphasize one universal core values, which is compassion. And next slide, please. Compassion is about opening up to the vulnerable space inside every one of us and letting our barriers down. And it's about daring to be present to ourselves and others with a genuine love and kindness. So when you can maintain your own alignment, you can conduct yourself, or you can be who you are and then care for others. And compassion is one of several virtues and values, or universal values we call, that we like to promote. And when you are so busy, I'd like you to think of yourself as a tree. And then if you can find pen, pencil, and paper close to you, or get the supplies you need, think of roots, your own roots. They are underneath values, under the ground, and virtues that are important to you, and what makes who you are, including your cultural, social, racial, or religious backgrounds. Trunk. What people or organizations are supporting and sustaining you in your service learning today. And going upward, fruit. Fruit is outward actions. What you will do to put your values and virtues into action to contribute to the society, community, or world. You may think this is so abstract, and I want to show you one example we posted on our website. Amy, next slide. So the virtues or values you may have is value my close-knit community, or importance of gratitude, respect for our differences, curiosity for education, continue to learn, service, desire to pay rent for my time here, love above all. And some of your values and virtues may be grounded in your religious tradition or cultural values. And which organizations are supporting all of these, you can jot down the trunk. And then think of outward actions. Maybe as implicit as listening carefully to others may not be considered outward actions, but it's an important action to pay attention to others. Or something you do, donate more concretely, donate time or money or resources from your household to good causes. Or supporting and believing in friends, especially at their difficult times. Or cooking meals for others. And I wanted to share one example of myself. I don't think cooking is my hobby, but more to do with something I do every day, as much as possible. And in the beginning of the pandemic, we ran into the elder couple who live across our street. And we've known them since we moved into that neighborhood in 1999. And we invited them when we had our second son was born, a second child, a son. I have a daughter and a son was born. But in a day-to-day, we may say hello when we see each other across the street. But that particular day was April, I think 2020. We saw them taking a walk with one daughter. No daughter lives there, but 3 daughters visit them, and they were older than 90 years old that time. And the daughter said, half jokingly, said, well, when the pandemic started, my parents are so scared of going out and get groceries. And they stopped cooking, so they kept eating chips and Cheetos for dinner. And so the daughters decided to take turns and bring meals to them. And one of them lives in Southern California, and the other lives in Northern California in Novato, which is about an hour and a half from our area. And then one daughter lives in 2 miles from us, but she's busy with her own business in the real estate agent. And they are Japanese American couple and said, well, would it be okay if I share what I cook? I don't cook Japanese food every day, but maybe 2-3 times in a week. So I started making a package of their meals and then delivering them while they are still hot, and maybe 2-3 times in a week. And they started coming to our house to thank us. And they said, oh, when are you starting your own restaurant? That was a great compliment. But it's been nonstop. So I have been continuing into 3rd year, and 3 months after I started, the elder husband passed away. And we send our condolences and a little meal. And ever since we continue, and then widow Yoshiko lives alone with 3 daughters occasionally visiting. And I felt that was one thing I enjoy doing, and very little resources are needed. I'm cooking for my family anyway. I just take one big portion just so she can eat maybe over a couple meals. It's one big portion and pack it up in a takeout containers and bring it in a bag. And occasionally we put apples or oranges or something from our yard. My husband grew vegetables and fruit. And then we have been doing this, and then occasionally like flowers show up in our door, and florist delivers flowers because they really enjoy my cooking. And I don't expect any of those, but sometimes they ship like a frozen fish and seafood out of Thrive Market and shows up on our door. And then I keep insisting that I would write a check to pay for them, but they say, no, thank you. Anyway, so I didn't think how impactful my cooking could be and how much I could be of any assistance to our older neighbor. And she just celebrated a 94th birthday this month. And so although this tree isn't everything about me, and actually one of our staff did it before she left our foundation, I think of this cooking meals for others kind of resonated well with myself. So I hope you can spend some time to jot down what your core values or virtues and who is supporting that, and then how are you putting virtues and values manifested as your action. So when you think of this tree, yourself as a tree, you may think of better alignment of what you want to do, what you are intended to do, more intentional action based upon what you deeply care about, what you believe strongly. So Amy, if you can start break rooms, and maybe 10 minutes or so, quietly looking down and writing your own tree, including trunks, roots, and some fruit or leaves. And then when you are done, maybe look up and then find your colleagues in the breakout room and share out. Since we have rather small group, I think we can spend some time to share out in a large group when you are done. Do you have any questions or comments? Great. Most of you are back. So to wrap up our discussion, I would like to hear from you what you thought about this simple activity and what you are taking away from this activity. And perhaps, can you use this kind of reflective activity in another situation, maybe at school or at your organization? So anything you would like to say, please unmute or raise your hand and let's share something you are taking away, or maybe something you can apply. Anyone would like to say?
I can share.
Great.
So for me, I think this is a really great reminder to kind of just remind yourself of where you come from and just your values. I feel like it's really easy to get caught up in your everyday tasks and to I feel like for me personally, I think that the generations now, like they're very caught up in social media. So it's really easy to try to present yourself a way that others are. And you kind of tend to forget who you really are. So I think this is a really good reminder for myself to really just kindle into your true self. And you don't have to be someone that everyone else is. And that's what kind of makes everyone unique.
Oh, thank you, Maritza. That's a great comment. Anyone else?
I can just share what I shared with you in our breakout room, just in regards to, I think you asked a question along the lines of being out of alignment and if there was a time where we felt that. And I shared about, the last 2 years with COVID, I felt like we have had some great opportunities, or at least for me, being really far away from home, living in Johannesburg with my family being in the US. At the time, I was feeling really scared and nervous and worried about, should I go home? Should I stay here before the borders close? And so it was, definitely a scary time to be in my apartment by myself and not sure of what was going to happen. But the silver lining was finding community online. And at the same time, with the George Floyd murder and the social reckoning that happened in America, gave me an opportunity for a lot of reflection and a lot of self-work and sort of kind of waking up to some things that I'd experienced or that had been long buried, and having the space and opportunity to explore that, to get some counseling, and also to look at all of these things that you're calling your fruit and your roots, like thinking about my values. Just having the opportunity to really find community online to support me. And now that has become a big part of my world. So so that's been sort of one of my events that have taken place that's helped me to get realigned. And I'm so grateful that you gave us this task for us to stop and have this moment to reflect. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to present a simple reflective activity and let you take some time to think about yourself and who you are and what your outward actions are, and the importance of continue to think about your alignment, because there are so many challenges in our lives, even including time management or taking care of other families and so forth. And when that happens, what do? We often use more reactive responses than reflective responses, or we may lose energy or passion for what we are doing, and we may feel angry rather than compassionate. So I thought this is just one simple exercise or activities that I can introduce, and perhaps that you can use in your daily life. And in terms of keeping the alignment, going back to my example of cooking for Japanese American neighbors in our community, I was afraid their daughters would ask me to have a set of schedule. Let's say Neko brings traditional Japanese meals Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays or over the weekend. And I was really trying to avoid that conversation because I think I felt pressure. And when I felt pressured, or if I feel pressured, I didn't think it will be more enjoyable for me and not going to be sustainable for me. And so I know all of you are engaging in service learning or service with the great intention to serve the community, but I hope you would know also your limit of your capacity or resources so that you can sustain your energy, your power, and continue on. And I just wanted to share the last slide. I use different tree, but we have this 6 billion path to peace is the older name, and the current name we are using infinite path to peace, especially after the world populations move on from 6 billions to now 7 billions. But we still have this reflection card, and Roots and Fruits is just one of several activities we have. And you can go to our website, which is ISLF22.org. And in the menu bar, there's a media resources, and then go down to resources and then download this activity. It's like a recipe card, one front and one in the back, but it's all in PDF. There are a few other activities that you may be able to do, maybe with your students, with your colleagues at school or at organization. So please feel free to download the resources as a one resources. But before I close, we have a few more minutes. Anything you would like to ask or share what you are taking away? Have anything like to make a comment? I know Patty and Pluck both are busy and in and out of the sessions, but do you like to share anything you are taking away from, or perhaps you can use in your school or in your family or organization? Or Maura? I wonder if you are still with us. Oh. Hi, Maura.
Hi. Yeah, no, I'm here. Thank you. Oh, I was just thinking. No, I think these. Thanks for this resource. Definitely will be. I think it's wonderful to have these to be able to take to some of our tabling events as well. It's a nice way for us to connect with somebody when we only have a short period of time with them as well, to give them a little gift to take with them. So,
thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Amy. It's nice to see you.
Anyone else? Patty, you unmuted just a second ago.
Yeah, I think this was really good reflection and an opportunity to remind ourselves that we all have different values and different reasons why we do the things that we do, and to honor those and to be respectful of that. And I think, I don't know who said it earlier, but just reminding us of our uniqueness and that we are all unique and special, and we all matter, and we can all go out and do some great stuff.
Great. Thank you. Amy, would you be able to type this resource? Or Tiwana, please write to me, Tsuchida@ISLF22.org. I can send a PDF to you shortly. I would love to stay in touch with you and hope that I will meet you in person at the next National Service Learning Conference in Nashville, Tennessee. And I hope I will get to see you in person. Oh, great. Thank you, Amy.
There we are. You're welcome.
Great. Thank you for making time to join me. I know all of you are busy, and with this time difference, and must be very challenging and during the weekdays, but I really appreciate your presence and participation. Thank you.